Okay, you guys, joining us on today's episode of Overshare is someone I have the ultimate girl crush on. You guys might know Devin from her work on BuzzFeed or from her own YouTube channel, Devin But Better. And today we've decided for some reason it's a good idea to reveal to the world and our parents the times that we have lied to them.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Overshare, the podcast. I'm Lily here with Jocelyn. And today, what do you over, Jocelyn? Let's just get it started.
So, over it.
What she said.
Oh my gosh. So I have to be totally honest and let y'all know that we shot an episode of the podcast right before this one that we're doing right now. And I think I had been so genuinely laser focused on what I was over specifically on our last episode that I'm feeling a little bit lost. So you go first.
Like, I always just go off yours. I'm never prepared. We're great at podcasting. What am I over? I mean, most things. I feel like this entire podcast could just be called Over It. I think right now we'll go with, I think I've already talked about it probably, but still mad and it's relevant right now. Apple is closed and
Yes.
I think they may be opened for like a week, like right before the 4th of July. But I didn't know that, and I missed my week window. And now, because people didn't stay inside, now we're quarantining again, basically. I never stopped. And honestly, even if the lockdown wasn't happening, I would probably still be in quarantine. But regardless, my laptop Wi-Fi doesn't work. And it's so obnoxious because the reason it doesn't work is because they disconnected the Wi-Fi antenna when they were fixing something else. So I already got it repaired. It took like 2 weeks. Then they give it back. And then it's broken in a different way. And now I just can't use it.
That doesn't feel right.
And it feels like even if the store is closed, shouldn't you be able to like drop it off?
Absolutely. Is there not one open somewhere out in the valley or something?
I mean, maybe I could drive like further away. Yeah.
But honestly, I think people having tech issues right now are living in a special kind of hell because my Wi-Fi went out. And when I called Spectrum to try to get it reconnected, it took them, they basically just said, we're too busy. We can't help you right now. And I was like, what do you mean? How am I supposed to live without Wi-Fi?
What happened to it?
I upgraded my account. And so I had to kind of like reset it. And I had to get a new router. And when I did that, it like was not working. And they were like, oh, you have to call Spectrum, your cable provider, to have them do something on their side. And when I called, they were just like, we're too busy right now. Like literally, they were just like, call back next week. And I was like, your girl don't have time to call back next week. So it was horrible. I honestly almost cried like 7 times.
That was like when I moved into this apartment. I didn't have internet for at least 3 weeks. Like
That's scary.
I found out that there's like a limit on the data that you can run through a hotspot because I was using it as like Netflix on my TV. I was mirroring it, but that was a huge disaster. And that was AT&T. And they were like, sorry, no, actually, no, the problem here that was really annoying was that it used to be a house where this apartment building was.
So they don't have enough bandwidth probably for all of your apartments.
They had wired it, but they didn't put in the right form that said there was apartments. So they didn't have the permits, probably. They couldn't do more than one account because there was only one address.
That's crazy.
And I was like, okay, but I don't have internet. What am I supposed to do? And they're like, sorry.
So what is your game plan with this computer?
Well, I mean, situation? I don't need it. It would just be really convenient because a lot of the time, especially if my back's hurting, I want to be sitting on the couch and using my laptop. But if I can't be on the internet, that I don't know what else I'm doing. I could edit, I guess, but like I need too many things from the internet while I'm editing, I think. So it doesn't really.
Well, I imagine you're not the only person facing this issue because everybody has an Apple product. Pretty much everybody I know.
Knowing that I'm also over is that laptop that I have from Apple only has USB-C drive or ports. It doesn't have any other, like, so I can't just hardwire in unless you have an adapter, which I've bought for hundreds of dollars, like multiple kinds. And one specifically is the only one that even kind of works. I'd say it makes the internet work 30% of the time. Not even 30% of the time. It works on like 30% of apps. So it's like, I can go on like Twitter and stuff, but like I can't update like the software on the computer.
I don't even know. I feel like you're speaking another language I don't even understand. So
I don't know. I'm trying to have a technology conversation with you, but that's what I'm over.
Okay, well, I figured out what I'm over. And the reason I figured out what I'm over
Me talking
is no. It's because I moved my leg, which is right down here. If you're watching this video version, I'm holding up my leg right now. You probably know this about me, and most of my close friends and family members do know, but I have never met someone more prone than myself to mosquito bites. And when I say mosquito bites, you know this is true. You've witnessed this from me.
I've actually gotten a few recently too.
I was outside on Saturday and Chris looked at me and he's like, you are literally under attack by mosquitoes right now. We have to go inside immediately. I was outdoors for tops 10 minutes.
In California?
Yes, I'm not kidding you. I have probably at least 25 mosquito bites on just my calves. So much. They are so painful.
Where?
Just what? What do you mean?
Wait, where were you?
I was in my mom and dad's backyard. I don't know why. I have no idea. It's not like they live out on a farm in the wilderness.
Yeah,
they
it was
live
like in the middle of summer. That doesn't.
So I'm covered in mosquito bites. They are so painful that I couldn't even sleep at night. I had to get up and take a shower in the middle of the night just to ease the itching. And I went to the acupuncturist, which is completely unrelated, the day after I received all these mosquito bites.
And all of them.
And I said, do you know what the deal is with some people being prone to mosquito bites and others not? Because I was with my mom and dad and Chris. They did not get a single bite, just me. And I'm literally covered. And he said that it's just kind of a mystery, that there's no medical evidence at all to support it one way or the other, that no one really knows, but they think it's your blood type. That they can smell your blood. I'm like, I don't.
Well, I feel like parents always joke. It's like, oh, it's because you taste sweet.
I hate that. I actually hate that. I wish I tasted poisonous.
Also, now that you say that, is it weird or bad that I don't?
Do you not know your blood type?
No.
Lil, yes, you need to know your blood type. What if you need a transfusion?
You would think I would, though, because I've gotten a few surgeries, too. Why is that not something that I know?
You probably should. Is that on our driver's licenses or something?
Definitely not.
Huh. Interesting. Well, maybe my brother knows your blood type because he knows everybody's blood type. He knows my whole family, so maybe he knows yours, too. You're basically a part of the family.
Well, which, I've been to your parents' house and never, it's so not even there's not even grass.
No, there is a swimming pool, and usually mosquitoes are drawn to sitting bodies of water.
But only usually if there's also plants.
Well, and also it's usually fresh water, not chlorinated water. My parents have a pool that's got chlorine in it. So mosquitoes are not hibernating up in that toxic water. Only human beings.
It could have been a saltwater pool, but when I rented that Airbnb in Arizona for your wedding, I have never gotten as many bug bites in my life. And it was to the same point as you, that I would wake up in the middle of the night and literally have to go run my legs underwater because they would turn into welts that were I'd say a $50.
That's crazy. I did a little bit more research, Lil, and this might be helpful to you. It said that mosquitoes, just like the aromas, the body smells of certain people, specifically if they've just exercised, the other thing they're really drawn to, and honestly, this is probably you, they enjoy biting people who have consumed beer.
I did consume a lot of beer.
Isn't that crazy? You did consume a lot of beer at my wedding. In fact, I bought a whole 24-pack or at least 36-pack of Coors Light, and it was gone immediately.
Everyone always likes to shit on it, but everyone loves it.
It's very, very true.
Someone told me that recently. They were I think it was someone's boyfriend even, but they were I tried Coors Light. You know what? It's actually pretty great. I'm like, isn't it? It's refreshing because it's water with a hint of alcohol.
Exactly.
Although I haven't been drinking very much lately at all.
I actually haven't either. I've been kind of dabbling a bit more in the hard seltzers because I feel they're a little bit healthier.
I've been dabbling in smoking.
No, you know me. I would choke to death. I would never be good at that. But I'm actually curious if you are.
Seltzers though are good.
They're amazing. If you guys are listening to this and you have any way of helping me with this mosquito thing, I really genuinely need help.
What do you need help with? Recovering?
I need help exterminating all mosquitoes on the planet. Obviously, I want them gone.
Got it. Cool.
No, I need help like figuring out how I can prevent them besides just covering my body in DEET, which is like one of the most toxic substances you can put on your skin. But it works.
Not
not it's fine to put on your skin.
Wait, did you just call it D, like vitamin D?
No, DEET.
I have literally no idea even what that is. It sounded like you just said D.
You thought I meant like I put on my skin?
No, I thought you said D, but I was just making a joke. But what is DEET?
Yeah, so it's like a really strong, toxic, highly toxic version of mosquito like repellent that they have you wear when you go to places where there's like malaria or like infectious diseases like Zika and stuff like that. But it's like really dangerous. So you kind of have to roll the dice. Like, would I rather get malaria or toxicity on my skin? I'm always down for the D.
When I search for it just comes up with like any kind of repellent, like bug repellent.
I think there's small traces of it in any sort of bug repellent. But what I did buy a ton of, I actually was in such like extreme pain that I couldn't stop itching myself. Like my skin is like just eaten up, that I went to CVS and got like every single potion they had for like relief, like to just make your body like numb. And none of them worked. They all suck.
I just picture, you didn't watch Rugrats, did you?
No, but I know of it.
There's an episode where Chucky gets the chicken pox and he won't stop itching. So they like lather him up in calamine lotion.
Yes, calamine lotion.
And then put oven mitts on him.
That's funny. I should have done that actually.
Oh, it's like, do you do like I feel like the best technique is like the slapping.
Slapping, or the other thing I've heard is that you're supposed to either take an ice cube and put it on the bite, or you take the tip of your fingernail and you push it and you make an X on the bite, and supposedly that works. But again, I think that there's a lot of science lacking. Yeah, that's what I would think too. And then the bacteria gets in there.
I mean, it
gets infected. But I don't know. It's just such a mess. So I just don't know if I can go outside anymore.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why do you never get mosquito bites on your face?
Okay, I have a lot of opinions on this. I do actually. I think mosquitoes, well, I have gotten mosquito bites on my face, actually. Not very frequently.
I guess it's not like completely not possible, but it's rare.
So I think, you know how as human beings, we're like, ooh, I want a piece of chicken. I want the breast.
You don't go for like
But it's not like, oh, I'm going to go eat the chicken neck. Or like, ooh, let me get the chicken face. Yeah, that sounds tasty and delicious.
There's not as much meat there. Yeah.
I think that mosquitoes, at least on me, like my legs because they're the juiciest part of my body. And fun fact, when I got all these said mosquito bites on my calves, I also got one on each butt cheek. And I was clothed. How does that even happen? How does that even happen?
I think Arizona is one of the only times it's happened that I noticed when it was like I would look down and see them biting me. I feel like they always are so sneaky. You never see them. You just wake up and you're like, why do I have 10 mosquito bites? Where did those even come from? I never even saw one.
I never, ever see them. And again, I will be with like my entire immediate family. Not a single person will get a bite. Not a single person. And I am quite literally covered head to toe.
Too sweet.
You know what? I'm sick of being sweet. Okay. I want to be like mean.
Sour.
That didn't work at all. That was really pathetic. Anyways, I'm super excited to overshare because we have like a guest that I'm totally obsessed with this week.
Da-da-da.
Okay, you guys, joining us on today's episode of Overshare is someone I have the ultimate girl crush on and that I've had the pleasure of meeting and interacting with in real life outside of this podcast. You guys might know Devin from her work on BuzzFeed or from her own YouTube channel, Devin But Better. But what you might not know that I learned earlier today, which I'm going to read off of a paper, is that she also has an album called Me and My...
Oh my God, what?
I was not privy to that information before we were filming.
Girlfriend.
I wish I was.
Okay. I actually did like just a quick little Google search of you. And I found all these amazing acting videos of you like singing.
Yeah. It's my background, actually. I went to school for theater, musical theater back in the day.
Well,
Yeah.
you like are very,
Well,
you're
it sounds
very
like you utilized
multi-talented.
it.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that you're like, you have an album named Me and My. I'm like,
Give it to Jocelyn to find the best info.
You guys, I'm an investigative journalist, the hard-hitting stuff only. But like, do people that know you from the internet know about the Me and My days? Or is this like a new revelation?
People know me from Harry Potter musical and Star
Yes.
Kid. And so Me and My was actually one of our first musicals that we wrote and did together. And so I guess if you're a fan of Star Kid, you know of Me and My. But if you don't, if you're just like casual ladylike person who like watches me on YouTube, you may not know about me and my,
Oh, wow.
and our relationship.
Secret identity being revealed.
I know.
Well, I'm so excited that you're on Overshare today. Like I said, you and I have met and hung out probably in like the way we met is like so influencery. It's like actually crazy. Like recount for us where
Oh my
exactly
God.
we met. It was crazy.
We met at the Istanbul airport.
Already casual.
Uh-huh. Yeah, very casual. We were on the set. We did this partnership with Sony Pictures to be in Charlie's Angels, the latest one with Elizabeth Banks, directed by Elizabeth Banks.
To
And
clarify, she means be in the movie.
We were in the movie. We were featured extras. And it's a very smart business play, I think, for a lot of production companies these days to get influencers and digital stars to kind of participate and be in a movie. It's like crossover, right? And so that's where Jocelyn and I met on a 48-hour vacation in Istanbul. And I was just thinking about that the other day. Jocelyn, do you remember we didn't almost get abducted, but it felt like we were about to get abducted in that cab.
We did almost get abducted. I forgot about that. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That was after we met Salt Bae. That was after we made
Salt
fools
Bae.
of ourselves with Salt Bae himself. We met him.
Yeah.
I mean, I was acting like a fool that night. I was out of
We so
control.
It
But
was
yes,
This story already, it's like we were in Istanbul and then we met Salt Bae and then we were in the Charlie's Angels movie. Oh, do you remember when we almost got taken from that?
it's actually true. It's actually true. And I don't know if it was you or if it was your producer that you were with from BuzzFeed, but somebody made the smart call to like alert our hotel and they came out and like saved us.
Yep,
What happened?
We were in this Uber coming back from Salt Bae's restaurant and we put in our address, right, to get back. And he took us across the city to a different hotel. And I was in the front seat and I remember being like, this isn't it. And he was like, okay, well, I'll take you to where it is. And then started going deeper into the city. I was like, I'm going to get out of this car.
That's like one of my biggest fears.
And then
In like a foreign country too. No.
And then the three of us just started making a noise and he turned around and went to the hotel. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it
how
was really
ended.
crazy because I don't think they had Uber or Lyft at the time. And so we were just kind of
so
like,
it's just a cab.
yeah. So if we had gotten out of the cab, I actually don't know how we would have gotten back to the hotel. So, I mean, it was like kind of scary in hindsight. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
really scared. I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, yeah, I know Jocelyn from, one of the scariest moments of my life.
It's like we were
Casual.
really bonded us.
Yeah, casual.
Also,
So no, I would die for Jocelyn. So
likewise. I also feel like the car in and of itself was kind of dangerous. Like, I don't know if there were seatbelts, but like, it was an adventure to say the least.
a lot of cologne in that car. A lot of cologne in that car.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Also, we were on that trip with Tan France from Queer Eye.
Tan fans say Stacey Schroeder.
Yes. And
mhm.
Katie from
Coffee.
the Vanderpump situation.
Vanderpump Girl.
I
Wow.
didn't even think that I knew Jocelyn was going until like the day before she went. And she's just like, I'm going to Turkey. And I'm like, what? She's like, I'm going to be in the Charlie's Angels movie. And I'm like, what? This all seems weird. And then when I saw who else was there, I was like, this is one of the most amazing but random groups I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm here for it.
It was ridiculous. And it was really cool because we got to meet like influencers and big time stars from different countries.
Mhm.
So we got to meet like the #1 Instagram influencer from Brazil and stuff
Oh my
like that,
gosh.
which is really cool.
Yes.
Jocelyn, were you somewhere recently where you were with foreign influencers and they were teaching you TikToks?
Yes. So I actually recently went on another similar press trip to Singapore before COVID, obviously. But it was myself and another mutual friend that we have, Essence.
I love her.
Oh my gosh. Lily, you've got to meet this girl. She lives in New York, but on the whole trip,
podcast.
I was like, we need to get you to LA. We need to get her to move to LA because I love her so much. She's so amazing. But it was she and I, and then like, I think about 15 of the top TikTokers from around the world. And I was like, are you on TikTok, Devin?
I am briefly on TikTok. Okay, so I teach pole dancing on the side.
Yes.
And
wow.
I thought I was gonna use TikTok to put all my hoe shit on.
Oh,
like
yes,
I'd be
queen.
like, I was like, okay, maybe my goal in 2020 is to kind of like have different parts of my personality on different platforms, like
just alter egos. I like it.
Right? Yeah. Like so, YouTube is like my journal entries, very honest adulting shit, and then Instagram is like, I'm cute, ooh cheekbones, and then TikTok was going to be my hoe shit, like my
love
dances, my
and then
dances.
You linked to your OnlyFans and
then exactly. No, my OnlyFans is where I hold my church services. So let's not get it twisted.
Spiritual experience.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, TikTok does not like pole dancing, so they took all of my pole dancing content down, and so then I was really
Why?
Yeah.
That's hard.
That
feels wrong. Core strength.
I mean, what are you wearing in them?
I mean,
you're like, I'm naked.
yeah, like I'm naked. Like, what happened? No, pole shorts or pants. I think it's just because it's a Chinese app and they have just different codes of conduct. It's just like, and probably crosses different I don't know, cultural barriers. And so
I also am curious how they figure it out, like how they're marking it, because I have posted several that one of them actually got through after I appealed it, and I don't know why or if it was a mistake, but if I'm smoking in them, and it's like, I'm not trying to be just like, oh, this is a TikTok of me smoking, but if it's something funny that sounds like a voiceover that someone would be saying hi, I'll be like, oh, perfect. I'll just like be smoking a joint while I'm saying it.
Right.
They get taken down within seconds. And I'm like, how does it even know that that's what I'm doing? Like, I don't say anything about it. So like, how are they even know that you're pole dancing? Like, is the technology that good that it just...
The technology is
they
that
get notifications.
Good.
It's like, oh, there's another pole dancing one. Got to take that shit down.
My favorite is when I was at NBC with a coworker and he was going through his TikTok. And he's like, I don't get it with TikTok. Like, all I see is like teenagers with big boobs. And I'm like, well, man, it's because you're lingering.
Like, well, this is how the algorithm works.
Honestly, all I see on TikTok are like middle-aged zaddies, like with super hot bodies doing dance moves. Like, that is my brand. My husband is like, what are you watching? I'm like, look at this guy's dance moves and look at his abs. It's truly amazing. Which honestly, Lily and I actually, for a clever video back in the day, tried pole dancing. Devin.
That's why my face when you told us, I was like,
so hard. Oh my gosh.
You're skilled.
You get used to it after a while.
I couldn't even hold myself up. Like, it's literally, the video is me like eating like chips on the ground while Jocelyn does it. I'm not kidding. That's actually what happens.
I would actually love to get a review on like the whole Hustlers film from you, because I'm sure you have a lot of opinions about just what J-Lo is capable of.
She's a goddess. She's a goddess because not only she learned all of that, I think, in like a month, which is really hard. You have to develop strength to pull in.
Yeah, when did you start doing it?
I was actually cast in the movie Gran Torino in Michigan. Yeah, back in the day.
Love that movie.
Yeah, and then I was cut. My scene was cut. I was cast as a stripper because I was in college in Michigan. And then my scene was cut because they had this whole scene where like the priest in the movie goes and sees Clint Eastwood and he's at a strip club. So they just basically hired a bunch of college kids to be like in the background. And so they asked me to learn pole dancing. So I remember I went and learned from a woman at Deja Vu nightclub.
Ooh, yes.
Downtown Detroit. I think like my Michigan agent at the time and I paid her like $50 for an hour or something. And she had Hunter tattooed on her thigh. And I was like, oh, who's Hunter? And she was, me. I'm Hunter.
Okay. All right. Great.
That's how I first learned.
Oh my goodness.
Well, honestly, I have so much respect for strippers and people who are good at pole dancing, because just the amount of strength and chafing that I experienced on my thighs in one day was crazy.
I think that's what I didn't I knew it was going to be hard. I knew I didn't have any upper body strength or anything, but like it's even just grabbing onto it and having it like rub against your skin was so painful.
It's called pole kisses. That's what
they told us.
Yeah. I love it.
Pole kisses. You start craving it after a while. I don't have a pole in my apartment, and so I haven't pole danced in like, God, since the pandemic started. And I actually crave that burning feeling sensation. I know it's weird.
Someone get this woman a pole immediately. We're putting out a request.
Like, maybe that's what my neighbors are doing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we could obviously just like chat with you forever, and we really should. But on this show, we overshare based on embarrassing and specific topics. And today we've decided, for some reason, it's a good idea to reveal to the world and our parents the times that we have lied to them. So my mom and dad, I know, listen to this show, and I can't wait for the feedback I'm about to receive.
Oh boy.
I don't feel like my mom really listens to the podcast.
Oh, well, maybe this will be her first episode. Lil, do you want to kick us off?
No, mine aren't too specific. I didn't lie to her that much. And it was more that I might have omitted the truth, which actually I did a story time recently. And I was like, I finished filming, was like, have I told her about that? And then I put it up, and then she texted me, and I had said that in the video, and she goes, no, you hadn't told me about that. I was like, got it, cool. We don't have to
now you know.
We just move on. That's cool. So mine aren't too specific, so I could finish this off.
Okay, well,
but,
I'll start.
Okay.
You don't strike me as someone that lied to your parents either.
No. Devin, you might not know this about me, but I am 38 years old and still afraid of my parents. Very much so. Like, you know, those people who are like, my mom and dad, like growing up, were my best friends. My parents were like, we're not your friends. We don't care if you like us. It was only probably after I was like 25 that my parents were like, okay, we're down to party with you. You know what I mean? But like in my early years, definitely not. So one summer, and I have a sister who's like not even 2 years younger than me, and she's polar opposite. She was like wild, down to like do whatever, never got caught either, which is crazy. I should put her on blast. But one summer, we were both over 21, I think. So I think too. We were home from college for the summer, and my sister went to college at Long Beach State, which is like really close to where we grew up in Downey. And a lot of her friends were in Long Beach for the summer, and our parents went out of town on vacation for like a week. And so it was just me and my sister, and our little brother must have been there too, but I honestly don't know where he was. He was a child at the time. So my sister was like, we're going to throw a huge raging party at mom and dad's house. I'm inviting all of my friends from Long Beach State. And I was like, well, I'll invite some of my friends too. I didn't have as many around. This house party ends up turning into like basically like, it just looked like the pool and the jacuzzi specifically was like a soup of greasy human bodies. Like there were so many people in the jacuzzi specifically. It just looked like human soup. It was gross. There was someone on the roof with a beer bong. I mean, there's like people there. Actually, I think someone turned one of the poles in the patio into a stripper pole. Like it was crazy, right? As you would imagine, it was a great time. We had so much fun. I mean, 1 million people slept over, whatever. So me and my sister are like, mom and dad are never going to find out about this. Like, we're such smooth criminals, whatever. My parents come home from vacation. They're like, how was everything, girls? Did you guys have a good time? We're like, oh yeah, we had, we just like hung out. It was very low key, like whatever. And then like cut to 2 days later. And my dad was like, you guys are so dumb. First off, the recycle bin, which shout out to recycling, the recycle bin is like literally packed to the brim with like empty liquor bottles, beer bottles.
Amateur hour.
Yeah,
I know. We're so stupid.
Wow.
He's like, but you want to know what the real one was? My parents have like a little guest house in their backyard. He's like, you guys are so dumb. He's like, someone threw up all over the guest house bathroom. There was like, the toilet was like full of vomit, and then there was vomit all over the place. He's like, and the concept that you guys just thought you were going to throw a huge raging party and we were not going to find out is so stupid. And I was over 21. Like I was well within like reasonable age, but like obviously still terrified of them. And that was the only time, honestly, I feel like I've tried to lie to them. And I'm not surprised that it was wildly unsuccessful. Like, so stupid.
I've never heard you didn't even like do like a clean, like a sweep to make sure everything was clean after? Like, how do you miss?
Also, by the way, apparently
yeah.
the stress is coming out of my hair because as I was saying that, my ponytail holder just cracked in half. This is like some sort of stigmata experience, and my hair is now just been set free.
Oh wow!
So there we go.
Reliving stressful times, man.
No, yeah. Obviously, we were super amateurs when it came to throwing parties, but I'm a terrible liar. Like, I also cannot do it.
I really want to hear the lie that you told them. Like, where did that vomit come from?
We at that point, we had been like already perpetually lying. Like, oh yeah, we just like had a few friends over for a barbecue, like no big deal, super casual. And then like my dad let us go with it for a few days just to see like if we would feel. That was also what my parents would do, was they would always let us lie to them. Like my sister told a huge lie to our parents and lied about it for like 3 months. And my parents knew about it the whole entire time. And they just let her sit in her own lie because they felt like that was like more terrifying. Also not a tactic I'm a fan of, but whatever. I'm also sweating now after just reliving these experiences from like 20 years ago. So anywho, that's my story. Now that I can't breathe. Devin, what about you?
I was like, can you tell Jocelyn was a really good kid?
Yeah. That resonates with me because I also had very strict parents.
Did you?
My dad's a high school principal.
And basketball coach. Mine too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. There you go. That's crazy.
And so, my parents were very, very strict growing up. I didn't drink in high school. I didn't party. I went to college, and that's where everything kind of fell apart as far as like the goody two shoes score sheet. But my parents, my story is about the first time that they asked if I smoked weed, or they found out that I smoked weed. So that's
what mine are going to be about too.
Yeah. Which like, shout out to mom and dads across the world when you find out your kid smokes weed, because it's just like that's when I have kids, I plan on fucking with them so hard when they I can curse, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, I don't know how I can overshare without dropping a few F-bombs, but I can try.
Live your truth.
Right.
Don't censor yourself.
All right. So anyway, every summer at school, I went to Cambridge in England to get my English degree in college. So I was a double major. Yeah. So I was a double major, and I was like in a conservatory program at Michigan during the school year. And then in the summers, I would go to Cambridge to get my English degree because it was actually cheaper that way.
Oh, interesting. Well, honestly, I feel like you're very fancy, and I'm even more obsessed with you.
Sounds very legit.
It was very fancy, but the thing is, most of the time during summers and summer school at Cambridge was filled with Americans and like maybe like a couple of people from Paris. But like, yeah, it's very fancy, but summertime in Cambridge was very much like, we let the American kids take over and
like
we
let them think that they're going to.
Well, I was going to ask you if any like royal family members were there with you.
No, not in my college. I belonged into Sydney, Sussex, and I feel like a lot of the royal family members are in King's or Queen's College. Like I have no idea. Fancy ones.
I have no idea.
It's kind of like houses, big house, like Hogwarts houses.
Oh, I see. Okay, yes.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, we were packing up my stuff so I could fly off to Cambridge like the next day. And back in the day, like this was before iPhones and stuff, I had like a flip phone, and you had to get your SIM card changed out and take it to the Verizon wireless store and get like your English SIM card or whatever, or like get a different SIM card. So I was busy packing up my stuff because of course it's me. Everything was last minute. And so I was like, Mom, Dad, can you just take my phone to the Verizon wireless store and get this taken care of while I pack? And they're like, okay. So what I forgot was the night before, and the reason why I was so behind is the night before my parents arrived, I decided it was the perfect time to try smoking hash. Now, if you don't know, smoking cannabis and weed and flower is different than smoking hash, because hash is usually like
much stronger.
Oil. It's very strong. And our subletter had a bunch of hash, and we smoked a bunch of it. And I just like got too baked and went upstairs and took a nap, and then texted everyone, was like, hash too strong, I'm out, basically. And that was that
Sounds
crazy
like a great
night.
day.
Yeah, it was nothing. But my dad taking my phone to the store, I got a text from the subletter who was like, "Oh my God, the hash was too strong, huh?" And like, basically outing me like that hash was too, like I had been smoking hash or whatever. But they just referred to it hash and hash being too strong, right? So my parents come back and they do that thing, that sad, disappointed thing that parents do. That's just so annoying, like where they come in and they act all like
thoughtful,
and like they take pregnant pauses
and
how they talk,
staring into your soul.
Yeah. And so my dad gives me the phone and he goes, check your text messages.
Oh no. No.
And y'all, the lie tumbled out of me. Like
I'm impressed already because I don't know how you do that. What did you say?
So thankfully there was a brunch spot in town that served a menu item called hippie hash.
Stop.
Which was hash browns with jalapenos and like all these different like feta cheese.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
So I was like, Dad, so that's so funny. I like laughed and again, acting major. So I was like, ha ha ha. Oh, Dad, sorry. Like we're talking about hash browns, Dad, like hippie hash.
Stop. Oh my gosh.
I took them to, and my mom, by the way, so my dad was all somber. My mom was doing the most. She was waiting in the car.
Stop. She couldn't even see you. She was waiting in the car.
She couldn't even look at me, right?
Such a disappointment. You're like, it's hash browns.
It's hash browns. My dad even yelled to Sharon, it's hash browns. And my mom like rolled down the window and it's what? Hash browns. I don't believe you. So I had to take them to the diner. We ordered the hippie hash. And I was like, see, jalapenos, hippie hash is
too
spicy.
Strong.
So did you get out of this legitimately? Like they believed you?
My mom bought it. My dad did not. And to this day,
have you talked about it since?
Yeah, because a year and a half ago, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. And so I brought a bunch of my weed products home, and I was 29 at the time. And I was like, Mom, I'm so excited because I'm going to introduce you to the beautiful world of cannabis. And she was like, what? And I was like, Mom, you had to have known that like hippie hash thing was a lie. And she was like, it wasn't the hash browns. I was like, no, Mom, I smoked hash the night before. I've been smoking weed since I was 19. Like, come on. And I'm a huge pot smoker. And my mom was like, leave. You're like, get out of my house. I'm like, I'm here till Thursday. Can you like
like, okay, I can't deal with this right now.
Yeah. And then my dad came in and my dad was like, yeah, I knew you were lying. I'm like, come on.
That is
so funny.
That's so good. But like, honestly, it is crazy. We were talking about in our last episode, how like I was in high school 20 years ago when people would get caught with weed, like 20 years ago, even in LA, like it was as if you had been caught with like, you were running like some huge drug ring or something. Yeah. And now you can basically like go to Target or CVS and like buy weed or like a clothing store. It's like, it's just wild how much it's shifted, as it should, in my opinion.
Totally, as it should. But yeah, people's lives were ruined for weed.
I mean, there's still people in jail. It's so ridiculous. And I've talked before. I've gotten caught with weed by cops in America and in other countries and not had anything happen. And then there's like literally people serving like life sentences for selling weed.
I believe that's what they call white privilege.
Yeah, it is.
So that's the white privilege thing. Yeah,
ding, ding, ding. Yeah, ding, ding, ding. Exactly. Lots of it here. Yeah.
So you win, honestly. Like, I can't believe that hash brown thing came through.
I've never come up with like an original creative lie to make up for something. I just like have been like, I don't know.
Well, I think Jocelyn and I, even though we were both raised with strict parents, I think we kind of deviated in that I had gotten used to lying, like even little fibs, because my parents were so strict. I had to do something.
So like you had to lie about stuff that wasn't even bad.
Yeah.
I think for me, even to this day, I'm a bad liar, but I could dub myself the queen of omission. I'm really good at giving you what I want to and just maybe leaving out the rest of it. You know what I mean?
Really having the narrative skew in your favor.
I mean, like, is that a lie? Or is it just like, I forgot to share the whole story, you know?
Right.
I don't know. But I think it's the same thing. But I'm a really bad liar. I still like genuinely think my parents could like catch me in a lie easily. It's terrifying. I need to go to therapy.
I'm trying to think. My only, they weren't even like lies, really. It was that I didn't start smoking until halfway through freshman year of college. So I came home for winter break freshman year. And then it was like, ooh, like, I'm home now. Where's the weed? And my friend that lived down the street would come pick me up in his truck. And then we'd drive up the street and smoke in his car for a little bit out of like his bubbler that he'd keep in his like center console. And then he'd drop me back off. And I'd say that we were like going to get food. And I feel like that since there was nothing to do at home, it was super normal to be like, oh, we're just like going to go grab fast food or something. And it was never weird. But there was several times that we like knew another one of the neighbors, or my mom had a friend over or something, that we would park like up the street, then like down another street. But it was like a big loop that you could do.
Oh my God.
Like, there was no reason my mom would be driving over there, but like maybe someone that didn't know the neighborhood that well might use that way to get out. Well, her friends did sometimes. And she would text me and be like, I think it was even when she first started dating Ken, maybe, and who she's married to now. But it was like, Ken just drove up the street and said that he thinks he sees Brian's truck over there. And I'm like, oh, no. And I literally just like would have to be, nope, wasn't him. And she'd be like, really? Because like he said he thought he saw you. And I'm like,
weird.
No.
How strange.
Nope. Just deny.
Deny.
Other than, and I feel like I'd have to kind of like, it was never blatantly lying. It was also, she was really naive about it, I think. Like, your parents knowing what hash is. I think if my mom saw a text about hash, she would be like, what is that? Like, she would think it was about hash browns. So I think, unless it, specifically, I remember there was times that I would smoke, even in my room. And I think this was by the time she like knew that I did and she was okay with it. I would smoke in my room, which had a window in the front of the house. So I'd like lean out the window. Her and my sister would get home and I'd hear them coming in and she'd be like, smells like a skunk out here. And then she'd like come in and be like, Lily, did you smell that skunk out front? I'm like,
how odd.
So strong. Really bad. And then my sister's like, really? That's not what that was. You're kidding. But otherwise, it was always just like her being weirdly okay with things. Like I would kind of try and lie, and then eventually I would just like give up or not know how. And she'd be like, whatever, it's fine. I'm like,
do you know what would be fascinating though? Like on the flip is now as adults, like bringing our parents on a show like this and be like, I want you to tell me all the lies you've told me because I guarantee you parents are lying all the time. Like when your kids ask you a question you don't know the answer to and you just like make literally anything up or just like blatantly lying about anything.
Have you ever seen like on Twitter, there's always ones that are like things that your parents told you that you believed when you were little. And it's like, one of them that always gets me is like that turning on your light in the car is illegal at night.
Is that not illegal?
No, it's not illegal. No. What was that?
And it's like, why would it be? Why would they put lights in the car if you couldn't use, like, why would it exist for the daytime?
I thought that was actually like, I still thought I would get in trouble.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of lumped it in with like headlight laws or something. It was like, oh, like it makes it hard to see for other people and blah, blah. I'm like, okay, sure. And then you grow up and find out that's not true.
Oh my gosh.
This isn't a lie my parents told me, but like I thought that snakes could mesmerize people with their eyes because of the snake in the Jungle Book.
Well, can't they?
I
feel like they can. I feel like some of them can at like certain species.
Just like mesmerize with their eyes.
I think it's the person mesmerizes the snake.
Oh,
because with the.
I'm actually also the most gullible person probably alive. So anything that happens in an animated film, I'm here for. Which actually, we haven't asked any of our guests since we started this as a podcast. This used to just be, Overshare was like a long form interview show or like hangout show with our friends. And we would always kick off every single episode with a very specific question, which is, what cartoon character sparked your sexual revolution?
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's a loaded question.
I don't know if that's always the way we word it. It's just like, who is your cartoon crush?
No. I'm taking it deeper.
Deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who was it for you?
Okay. This is going to be very weird. Okay.
I'm ready.
So do you remember We're Back, a Dinosaur Story?
No, but take us there.
Okay. It's a story about, it's actually written by playwright John Patrick Shanley, which is wild. Like, I know, very casual. John Patrick Shanley is like on Broadway, like very, very mature playwright person. He makes a children's movie. And We're Back, a Dinosaur Story is about like dinosaurs coming back to like present day and living in New York City. Okay, cute, right?
Cool.
The T-Rex, and they're all like bumbling, friendly dinosaurs, okay? The T-Rex, in fact, I'm going to look this up really fast because I have to know. I was thirsty. As my friend Della calls it, because she works with a lot of Brits, I was frothing at the gash for this.
Oh, I've never heard that phrase.
Frothing at the gash.
for this T-Rex, for this super hot T-Rex.
Oh, yeah. He was this T-Rex. He had his big nose. Who voiced him? John Goodman.
Oh, of course.
Oh my gosh, my hair is literally out of control at this point.
I know. I don't know what yeah, We're Back, a Dinosaur Story. And I remember being like 5 years old, being like, I love that T-Rex. John Goodman character.
That's amazing. Oh my God. Well, I feel like we could talk about all of these forever.
We could,
but
yes.
Let's move on to our last segment.
Let's do it.
So long, share well. I hate us so much more now.
Okay, so Devin, in this final segment called Share Well, because we are sharing and bidding the world farewell at the same time, we all go around and share something that has brought us joy this week. It can be big or small, whatever is bringing you joy this week. Lily, would you like to kick us off?
Sure. I think I've been posting several of them on my Twitter, so people probably know that it's brought me a lot of joy. But my dog is really into head tilts. Like it's as if he understands, or at least is trying to understand everything you're saying, to a point that it's weird. Like it's like I'll just be like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, like constantly. Like I don't know how he hasn't thrown his neck out. But the last week it has been so funny, and I'll have like conversations with him where I just am asking him questions, and he just
it's very,
he's
very
trying
cute.
so hard to understand, and it's just made my week a lot better.
He is very
look
cute.
this up on Twitter.
It's on my Twitter. There was one I put one up this morning.
And Lily, also you need to update Mr. Max Marston's Instagram account
I know.
with
I
some
haven't
videos.
posted since like January.
Because this is a very, very cute pup. What about you, Devin? What's brought you joy this week?
Okay, so I'm doing a lot of home renovations because it's literally the only thing I can control right now.
Well, you're going to be home, so it should be nice.
Right. It's just like looking around the apartment, being like, the key to happiness and feeling like a whole person again is if I move this table 3 feet to the left. Like that's the cycle I'm in right now. We've been doing a lot of home renovations, so it's just like a kind of a reward system like that. But part of that was building a computer, and I'm also made a YouTube video about it. So if you aren't watching me on YouTube, you're going to see me in a video where I built my boyfriend's computer.
Wow.
Impressive.
I did. And it was really hard, and I was really sore this morning, and I probably will never do it again. Because I'm not a gamer. I wouldn't need to build a PC, but my boyfriend is, so that's why we did it.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And so then I logged on to twitter.com. You may be familiar.
I've heard of it.
Small website.
Yeah. And I read that Henry Cavill also built a computer yesterday.
Stop.
I know.
So basically you and Henry Cavill are
like spiritually connected.
Clearly, like that man can screw a RAM into my motherboard any day of the week. You know what I mean? I was just like, wow, we share a kindred spirit. I almost tweeted at him, but then I was like, no, I was too thirsty. But I still might. I don't know.
You should. Honestly, you should do it. That is one of my favorite hobbies is tweeting and especially commenting on celebrities' Instagrams. Like Mindy Kaling, I literally comment on her Instagram as if we're best friends. I'm like, girl, you're so silly. You
Well,
look so cute. Like,
Twitter
it's my favorite hobby.
Twitter, you never know. People will respond.
Okay.
They see it. Even when you're not verified, they respond. But then if you are, you already have a leg up. So
if Henry Cavill responds to me, I don't know what I'll do. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know what Pat, my boyfriend, will do. Like, we as a couple will have to have a sit down and talk about this. You know, it'll be too much.
Well,
and I'll be
here's the
opening a
thing.
can of worms.
It could just
my
be a
goodness.
great friendship with you and Superman. And, you know, maybe him and your boyfriend can like game it up together or do some like first person shooting or whatever it is that's on the gaming. But if you tweet him, just know that Lily and I will slide in and affirm that on the verified tab. Okay.
Yeah, if you like it, it'll be like super. It'll be popping off. You know what I mean?
It will pop off. It'll be so many likes, so many retweets. He won't even know what to do.
You're like, who is this Devin? What?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
He needs to know you. Mine is
Okay.
dumpster diving is my new favorite hobby. I have been finding trash on the side of the road and turning it into actually beautiful furniture. I just found an authentic mid-century piece, and I like love now, like you were saying, home renovations. Now I have already finished my house, so now I'm hitting the streets and looking for trash. And I'm going to fancy neighborhoods like Pacific Palisades and Beverly Hills to pick up their trash from the side of the road, and their trash is better than like any of my treasures. It's amazing. So I highly recommend doing some deep dumpster diving.
I'm dying because
Anyway,
it sounded like you just did like an ad read. You're dumpster diving.
No, but honestly, you guys, I'll post it on my Instagram eventually. But I have like a real authentic piece that probably, I mean, if you bought something like it from West Elm, it would cost like $2 or $3 grand. So
Look at
That's
you.
amazing.
One person's trash, another one's treasure.
exactly.
Also, if this was an ad, it would be like, "Hi, I'm Jocelyn, and I'm here to talk to you about garbage."
Listen, it's so true. Like you said, one man's trash, another man's treasure. And I'll take rich people's fancy trash any day of the week. I mean, plus it's eco-friendly. I'm into it. Okay. Well, Devin, thank you so much for coming on our show. Really quick, let the people know where they can find you.
Find me on YouTube, Devin But Better. It looks like Devin But Butter. I'm working on it. I still
I like butter.
maybe that'll be my merch. I'll just start selling butter. I don't know.
Start
Devin
a
But
cooking
Better.
show.
You
I
can
love
find
it.
me on Instagram, Dev Lytle, DEVLYTLE, and then on Twitter, Dev Num Nums. Don't ask. It's just an old nickname.
I like it.
I like that a lot. Well, we're a huge fan of yours, and I'm so glad we got to do this. Please come back on the show again, especially in real life next time, hopefully when all
God.
of this ends. And hey, keep us posted on Henry Cavill.
I
Yeah,
will.
for sure.
I can't wait to hug your faces for real.
Seriously.
This seems so good.
Seriously. And you guys who are listening to the podcast, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Rate us 5 stars, leave a review because it's very helpful for us and we need all the help we can get, quite frankly. And if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment and let us know when you've lied to your parents.
Oh my God. Hopefully
Yeah,
not
let's
a
just
lot.
like all come clean.
Let's do
2020
it.
come clean.
Come in clean.
God.
Come in clean. Okay, well, this show is over. And yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you
Bye.
for everyone. Bye.